Right now, somewhere on Earth, a person is staring at a wall. Not because they are tired, not because they are sick, not because anything is wrong with them, because they are bored. And boredom, this specific, uncomfortable, uniquely human experience of having nothing meaningful to engage with, is one of the strangest and most consequential things that ever happened to our species. Because boredom is not what most people think it is. It is not the absence of stimulation. It is not laziness. It is not a modern problem created by smartphones and comfort. Boredom is a signal, an ancient, urgent biological signal that has been driving human behavior for hundreds of thousands of years. And the things it drove us to do changed everything. Start with what boredom actually is. Every animal experiences something like restlessness when basic needs are unmet. Hunger, thirst, discomfort, fear. These are drives that push animals towards specific actions to resolve a specific deficit. Boredom is different. Boredom is the experience of having all basic needs met and still feeling an urgent pull towards something more. It is the brain registering that the current situation is not enough. Not dangerous, not uncomfortable, just insufficient. No other animal experiences this the way humans do. A dog left alone does not become bored in the human sense. It experiences frustration, separation anxiety, and a drive to return to its owner. But it does not sit and contemplate the meaninglessness of its current situation and feel a pull toward inventing something new. Humans do that constantly. Neuroscientists studying boredom have found that it activates the default mode network, the part of the brain that engages when we are not focused on external tasks. This network is associated with imagination, future planning, self-reflection, and creativity. Boredom does not turn the brain off. It turns imagination on. For ancient humans, boredom was a gift. In a world where survival occupied most of your time and energy, genuine downtime was rare. But when it appeared, when the hunt was successful, the food was stored, the camp was safe, and there was genuinely nothing that needed doing, something happened. The brain, trained by evolution to find productive engagement, did not simply rest. It searched, it invented. Researchers studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have documented that leisure time is almost never spent in passive inactivity. When there is nothing that needs doing, people make things. They decorate objects that do not need decorating. They tell stories that serve no immediate practical purpose. They experiment with materials, sounds, shapes, and ideas for no reason other than the pull to engage with something. This is boredom at work. The cave paintings of Lascaux, created roughly 17,000 years ago, were not made by people in a survival crisis. They were made by people who had enough time and enough security to spend hours underground applying pigment to walls in the dark with torches. That is what boredom does when it meets a capable mind. It creates art. But boredom did something even more significant than art. It drove humans to solve problems that did not yet exist. Every major human invention in history was created by someone who had enough downtime to notice an inefficiency, sit with it long enough to feel the discomfort of it, and then refuse to accept that the current situation was the best possible situation. The person who first invented a bow and arrow was not in the middle of a hunt desperately needing one. They were sitting somewhere, probably slightly bored, thinking about how much more effective hunting could be if the prey did not have to be approached directly. Boredom is the engine of improvement. It makes the current situation feel insufficient. It makes the gap between how things are and how things could be feel urgent. And it refuses to let that gap just sit there unaddressed. Every tool, every technique, every social innovation in the entire history of human civilization started with someone feeling the specific discomfort of boredom and deciding to do something about it. And here is the part nobody talks about. Boredom also built human culture, because storytelling, music, dance, ritual, religion, all of the things that define human civilization, did not emerge from necessity. They emerged from leisure. When the work was done and the fire was lit and there was nothing pressing left to do, humans gathered. And rather than sit in silence, they created. They told stories that explained the world. They developed rhythms and melodies that created shared emotional experience. They created rituals that gave meaning to recurring events. They built belief systems that answered questions no practical concern had raised. Culture is what boredom looks like when it is channeled through imagination over thousands of generations. So here is what boredom actually is. Not a weakness, not a modern problem, not something to be eliminated or immediately treated with a screen. Boredom is the signal your ancient brain sends when it is ready for something more. When it has processed the current situation and determined that more is possible. Every time you feel bored, your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do, telling you that your capacity exceeds your current engagement, that you are built for more than this moment is offering. The discomfort of boredom is not an absence. It is an invitation.